Well, my goal for this week is to begin framing out the shop. I'm hoping in the next week and a half here, with 2 weeks, I will be able to get all of the walls up. Um, we're going to try it with just Colleen and I lifting the walls and seeing if we can get those up. If not, I plan on getting a hold of a sky lift to help with some of the heavier lifting stuff, especially with the front of the shop and that 2x12 header that's going up there. That's way too heavy for the two of us to try and dominate and lift on our own. Well, we could, but we'd end up being herniated at the end of it. Anyway, we're going to get started with that, and we'll see how far we get today and the rest of this week. Looks like it's going to be a nice weather week. Low, not ultra hot, but we'll see. Now, the first thing we're going to be doing is doing our layout for our 2x6s and our walls, and we'll get started with that and see how hard this is to lay out. It's a new territory for me, and while I've done some construction stuff on a smaller scale, doing layout on a full wall with the door is where I'm going to start.
Recently, I was speaking with a friend who is a small business owner, and his staff decided to call in sick during a holiday weekend. For some reason, he couldn't understand how they could do that. My work ethic says that unless you're dying, you show up, which is especially true if it's your business, because as the business owner, you have little choice. I've come to find out there is one simple truth, and that is that no one gives you anything in life. Luck does not exist, only effort and hard work. Our society has created a false dream by suggesting that through inventing a character or a strategy and putting it on display through social media and other means, we can be rich and famous in a moment. Regrettably, we have lost the value of hard work. Do not fool yourself. Hard work is dignity. Trying to do things better every day with a smile, with a desire to keep fighting day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, by achieving our dreams, being conscious of the mistakes we make and finding alternatives, even though that day we have worked double. That is dignity and effort. Whenever something unfortunate happens in my life, I can make one of two choices. One, get upset and then deal with the situation. Or two, skip the emotional tantrum and deal with it. And it took me a long time to realize that. But I finally accepted that freaking out does nothing to help fix the problem and get things back on track. These days, whenever something unpleasant occurs, I try to tell myself, all right, you can either get pissed off and then deal with it, or just deal with it and save yourself the stress by staying calm. Thankfully, I've learned how to select the latter option 99 out of 100 times.
Well, it's the end of day one of framing, and I have to say that I was moving extremely slow. Took me a while to figure out how to dial in that nail gun so I wasn't half driving nails or popping them loose or jamming. Anyway, I got that figured out, got everything laid out, cut, and I got the first wall done, which is includes the includes the door and the header for the door. And so that was probably the hardest wall next to the actual front of the shop, which will contain the front door, garage door. But that's going to require me to get some 3 2x12s in order to get that framed in and done, and I'll get that done in this week. But all in all, pretty happy with today, and we'll pick this up tomorrow and see if we can knock out some more walls. The other thing is that because of the size of the wall and how it's all put together, there's no way for 2 people to lift this, and so I'm going to go ahead and order a Skylift forklift and use that to help where I don't have the labor. Just make it a lot easier, and plus I don't feel like breaking an arm or a leg trying to get this done. So the problem I've run into today, because you can't have a construction project without problems, is that my brand new nail gun is decided not to work, and I don't have any tools out here to be able to fix it. And so we're going to go old school and just break the strips apart, and I'll just hand nail this one wall until I can get that sorted out. Well, it's the next morning, and we are back in action and going to try and knock out some more walls today. I got the telehandler, should be here later on this afternoon, and hopefully we'll get some walls lifted and into place so we can start on the back walls as well. Fucker. I'm not a professional builder, as evidenced with the mistakes I find myself making and having to correct. This is where grit and perseverance come in. The easy part would be to call contractors to come in and do the hard jobs, the dirty jobs and the scary jobs. But that is not what I came here to do. That is not how I grow, nor how I learn how to do things for myself. Building this shop and house from the ground up means mistakes, close calls, frustration, and fails, yet waking up the next day to take it all on again. I wasn't looking for easy when I moved to Montana. I was looking for a challenge, and that is certainly what I'm getting. Building our debt-free little homestead from scratch, I have to admit, homesteading is nothing like I thought it would be. In fact, I envisioned this sweet little life like Little House on the Prairie. However, it really is hard work. Would I give it up? Not in a million years. In fact, ranching, farming, and homesteading all have one thing in common, and that's hard work. The homesteader has chosen a less automated life than the city person. And in the rural areas, there are certainly less conveniences and less fallbacks to lean upon. Hard work has always been a key element to productivity, and productivity can create prosperity as well as a sense of accomplishment. These are key elements of society, and when they are discouraged, society slumps. Well, after yesterday's complete disaster on my part for trying to pull up that whole wall with the machine, that was my mistake and lessons learned. But I feel pretty vindicated today, having split those up, repaired the wall. In fact, the wall behind me is the one that crashed yesterday. I repaired it this morning and then got back to it. It's one thing that's true is that so far this build has made me feel quite a bit like Wile E. Coyote. You know, I keep trying different things and sure enough, I end up hitting a wall or getting hit by an anvil. But no matter what, we just keep going and find a solution and make it happen. And so far we've got one set of walls up and we'll start on the second.
If you don't want to work hard and constantly, homesteading may not be the best choice for you. There is no end to chores that need to be done and projects that need to be worked on. It's a busy lifestyle with plenty of jobs to go around. The one good thing is I actually sort of like physical labor. After starting work on the farm, I have crawled into bed at nights, exhausted, in a good way, knowing I'd used all my body I could give. And you know what? There's something really satisfying about that. Which is convenient because it's pretty much required if you're going to take on homesteading at this level. Homesteading has shown me that I can adapt and learn to just about anything. And I've certainly learned about failure. However, in the end, the kind of satisfaction that comes from all this hard work is like none other.
Well, I am certainly slowing down today. We're getting towards the end of the day. It's almost 4 o'clock. I'm going to try and see if I can finish this wall or a half wall and get it put up. But we're making good progress, even though I have to do this by hand. Turns out my problem is not the air gun. That seems to be fine. It's a matter of the nails. I managed to grab the wrong box of nails for that gun, and I should have looked a little closer, but I'm paying the price now.